So I think it's safe to say we're still in a tier 0 format. Hey guys, Otaku here, back with another competitive Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today it's time to discuss the fact that we needed an emergency ban list. Yes, I know that we just had a ban list literally like last week, but it did nothing. It really didn't do anything at all. In fact, we're gonna go over it here in a minute, but the deck didn't change at all. So for those who are basically out of the loop, Yu-Gi-Oh has been in a tier 0 format, flooded with Snake Eye anything for the last long while now, and it's just recently been hit on the ban list, but by hit, I mean its end boards got hit. They banned Link Karibo, Savage Dragon, and Baron, which in practice, or I mean on paper, it was really good, but seeing it in practice now, it really didn't do anything. Realistically, the most impactful hit was Link Karibo getting banned, because now the deck is a little more susceptible to being really hurt by Imperm, Mourner, and Veiler, because it can no longer dodge those hand traps. But overall, the list didn't do anything, and because of this, I think it's really time for an emergency ban list. Now, emergency ban lists don't come along very often, and, you know, everyone and their mother is constantly complaining in this game, saying, oh, we need an emergency ban list. They did it for tier, they did it for cash, they're gonna do it for Snake Eye. But this is the first time I'm thinking we need an emergency ban list. I don't typically like to complain a lot about the current format, because just because I'm bad at the game doesn't mean that the deck is so powerful that it needs to be hit on an emergency ban list. But when the first ban list literally didn't do anything to change the deck and how it's played, then we have a problem. To get a further understanding about what I'm talking about, here are the results for YCS Raleigh that just happened this past weekend, and as you can see, very much in favor of Snake Eye. Everyone was saying when the ban list came out that Snake Eye Fire King was going to be the better build, and quite frankly, that's just not true. Pure Snake Eye is still very much the better build. It bricks less on the Fire King cards. It just has room for so many hand traps, and the end boards really haven't changed. Like I said, the only thing now is it's a little more susceptible to Imperm, Veiler, and Ash, because it can't dodge those effects with Link Karibo anymore. But our winner was Snake Eyes. Also, congratulations. I can't remember the guy's name, but congratulations on winning YCS Raleigh. But our winner was Snake Eye. Our runner-up was Labyrinth, but then in the top 4, we had 2 Snake Eye, 1 Labyrinth, and a Snake Eye Fire King. So essentially 3 Snake Eyes. In the top 8, we had 5 Snake Eyes, 1 Labyrinth, 1 Fire King, and 1 Branded. So, hey, you know, Branded made it up there. Happy for them that, you know, they're one of the few meta contending decks that can still get up there. And then in the top 16, we had 8 Snake Eye, 1 Labyrinth, 2 Fire King, 2 Branded, 1 Runic, which was interesting, 1 Runic Plunder Patrol, which was even more interesting, and Flu, which isn't surprising because it's a shifter deck, and shifter decks do have some sort of success in this current format. Runic obviously is Runic Stun. Stun decks are just inevitably going to continue to be played until Snake Eye actually sees some sort of impactful hit. And then our top 32, we had 17 Snake Eye, 1 Labyrinth, 3 Fire King Snake Eye, 2 Branded, 3 Runic Stun, 1 Runic Plunder, 1 Flu, 2 Voiceless, 1 Pearly, and 1 Cash. Now, Pearly does not surprise me. Pearly got its Delicious Memory back, so people are, you know, the deck is seeing a lot more representation again. I think a lot of what hurt Pearly was that, yes, it wasn't nearly as good as it, you know, used to be before Snake Eye came out, but also it was seeing a lot less representation. But with 2 Delicious out, the deck not only has more OTK potential, but also because of that, it has more representation, which means it's inevitably going to see like 1 top. But Plunder Runic is the one that I'm still laughing about. The fact that someone playing Plunder Runic got top 32, that makes me feel good. But overall, let's look at the list. Let's look at Cameron's list. That's the guy's name. I could have just looked further down the page and I would have seen his name. Let's look at the list here, shall we? Do you see a problem here? Because immediately I see a problem, and the problem is the deck hasn't fucking changed at all. The realistically, the only changes is you see the Omega and you see the Dispatter. That's where Baron and Borreload used to be. Other than that, the whole fucking deck is the same. Obviously, they're not running Link Karibo anymore either. I don't know. I think they put Anima in Link Karibo's place, which still gets the Snake Eye card into the graveyard, but it doesn't obviously, you know, save them from Imperm, Veiler or Mourner anymore, which is kind of the upside there. But overall, like, the main deck hasn't changed at all. It looks exactly the same. And Dispatter and Omega just replaced Baron and Borreload. The deck is still being played the exact fucking same. Now, they are running the one anti-spell because the card is still really good in this current format. So it's like, if you see it, awesome. If you don't, whatever. Keep playing like you normally would play. They're running Twin Twister. I'm assuming just kind of blow up stuff in the back row for one. Snake Eyes are respecting Runic Stun, or just stun in general. But also you can blow up like back row on Snake on like the mirror match and stuff, so that way they're not just summoning IP to the board or whatever. But they're probably not signing Twin Twister. I don't know. I'll be honest. Another reason I think that we need a ban list is because YCS Raleigh was some of the most boring shit to watch on the face of the fucking earth. Like, to really understand what I'm talking about, I ended up getting the opportunity to watch the entire YCS, which is something that doesn't normally happen because I work on weekends, but I was able to watch the entire YCS, and I didn't watch the entire YCS. Every time a Snake Eye deck came up, if it was facing another Snake Eye, if it was the mirror match, I wasn't watching. I don't care if it was pure Snake Eye Fire King, Kashtira Snake Eye, because that's very popular now. I don't care what version of Snake Eye it was. If it was a mirror match of some kind, I just wasn't watching. It's some of just the most boring gameplay to watch because it just is so one-sided half the time. Usually the Snake Eye board that wins is usually the one that goes first. Usually, not always, but usually. And I know for a fact I'm not the only one in that boat. And I haven't felt this way since Kashtira. When Kashtira was in its prime and everyone was playing Kashtira, we weren't even in a tier 0 format at that point. But it was still some of those boring shit to watch. But I still watched it. But Snake Eye, I just refuse to watch it. I don't feel good watching it. I don't feel hyped watching it. It's just boring shit. And this is another reason I think that we need an emergency ban list, is because since the deck didn't change and the deck still plays the exact same way, and we have support coming out in Legacy of Destruction, which is going to make the deck even better, and no one wants to watch the feature matches at the YCS, Konami needs to do something. Now, Konami, I do understand you don't want to hit your money, you don't want to hit the wallet and ban cards that are going to be impactful in the most powerful deck in the format that just so happens to be entirely new cards. But, like, come on, Konami, you're kind of in a bad position right now. The ban list overall was still pretty cool. Having Colossus back, which, by the way, did nothing at the YCS. Having Protoss back, which essentially did nothing at the YCS. The ban list was good. It did cool things, but it didn't do enough. In my personal opinion, if you're going to hit a deck on a ban list or just a Forbidden Limited list, it needs to change how the deck is played. It doesn't need to kill the deck. It just needs to change how the deck is currently being played, because the way it's currently being played is the best deck in the format. It's what makes it the best deck in the format. And if the Forbidden Limit list doesn't at all change how the deck is played, then the deck is still going to pretty much be the best deck in the format. I do like the idea of going for the end boards, but the end boards isn't fully what the deck, thrives on. The end boards can change, as we saw. Dispatter and Omega replaced Baron and Savage Dragon, but overall, Snake Eye end board wasn't relying on those cards. It was just kind of a win more strategy. And like I said before, I don't want to come across like one of those people that's just constantly complaining, because typically I try to see the good side in the current format. But overall, I'm so burnt out on Snake Eye. I think this is some of the worst tier 0 we've had in Yu-Gi-Oh! In a very long time. Tier wasn't this bad. And I wasn't around for Zoo days. Zoo may have been this bad. And I know Konami doesn't typically like to do emergency ban lists. I mean, we stuck through a Shizu tier 0 format for like 6 months before they finally hit it, and they only hit it to sales for Photon Hypernova, Kashtira. But overall, I know I'm not the only one that's feeling this way, but another 3 months of pure Snake Eye, just flooding YCSs and regionals, I don't know if I can do it. But that's really all I have for you guys today. I apologize if this comes off as just simple complaining, but I personally think I'm bringing up good points that I'm sure a handful of you will probably agree with. But I do, of course, want to hear what you all think, so let me know in the comments down below what you think of the current format, what you think about the fact Snake Eye was just untouched, and overall, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already and you like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. But with that, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.